Thanks, Donna. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more excited to have Mark here because not only are they a Sibber success, but they are homegrown in Montana. So, I mean, it just is the heavens aligned here. So, Mark, I've been talking to them a lot about transition, about how we can help. But again, like, I don't want people to think that this is unreachable. How does this start to happen? So let's start a little bit with you sharing your background and a little bit about what you do.
Great. Thank you. Personal background, a career entrepreneur, all in the technology space, IT space up until getting here to Montana. Our background story, BioSqueeze, is very much a Montana story. The early research actually came out of Montana State University, the Center for Biofilm Engineering. One of the co-founders of our business was a part-time faculty member working on that research. In 2021, I approached Next Frontier Capital. Les Craig, who's over here representing them today, one of our sponsors, offered up this crazy idea of saying, we have this industrial biotech capability here. We're not quite sure what the commercial applications are, but it looks like it has legs, and I want to go build this thing. So in partnership with them, we raised some money. We purchased this underlying technology, and in September of 21, we in fact were 3 people in Butte, didn't even have a dog, and off we went. And kind of a surprising, DARPA connection here. We had stood up our name in our website and my email around September 15th of 2021, and about a week later, I got an email from DARPA to my BioSqueeze email. I still don't know how they knew we were doing this.
We know everything.
Exactly. So, whatever you're thinking, they already know it. So, yes, they asked us to consider applying the technology that we had in a completely new area. Our first product we went to market with, and what we're very busy with today, is using a biological organism, a microbe, to form limestone. The technology is called biomineralization. And we are addressing methane leaks in oil and gas wells. To the what, right? We're trying to solve an environmental problem, and why it's interesting is the alternatives are things like resins and lower viscosity cements. And if any of you have ever tried to fix a crack in your building foundation, you get your quick ready cement and you spread it on, and you feel pretty good about yourself, understanding that cement penetrated about a 1/4 inch below that crack. When we inject our bugs into cracks in cement, we are penetrating over 1,000 feet through a matrix of cracks. And our process then begins to grow limestone. And we, in fact, restore the integrity of that cement. DARPA approached us with a new idea of how we might use our technology, and that is to combine it with local aggregates like sand and create a biocement. So our bacteria are forming the glue, if you will, binding the aggregate together. And it was an idea that we thought was possible, but had no resources to go pursue. And it was not something our venture partners were interested in because it was years away from being a product. So for us, it was just going to sit there and languish as a fun thing to dream about someday. But DARPA brought it to our attention and asked us to commit. The XL program certainly gave us the time and the money to do it properly. Getting to where we were with that Camp Lejeune experience was pretty dramatic. But it really, for us, it took us from having a specific use case of our technology to now, when I think about our business and describe our business, I describe us as a industrial biotech company with multiple large civil engineering applications, both dual use applications. Obviously, if you can harden a beach to drive a truck on it, you can think about soil stabilization or levee stabilization type applications. So there are a number of applications that we're now pursuing and out commercially discussing. Another comment I'll make about working with DARPA, the networking that they provided for us was invaluable. For 2 years running, they held an event in DC called the Concrete Stakeholders Workshop, where they flew in DoD personnel from all over the world and people who cared about the integrity of concrete and issues that we've got with concrete. There we met a team from Red Horse out in Guam, and they shared with us challenges with crater repair and the logistics issue that although there are solutions for filling craters, the logistics of staging that material is extremely troublesome for them. And the idea of using a local aggregate, using local seawater, and then bringing in our bacteria, for them, they told us, is a game changer. So giving us access to potential users, understanding the mission needs has been extremely valuable for us.
Yeah, what I like so much about your story is it kind of ties together what I started talking about, right? Like you never really anticipated that there was some work that you could be doing with the department, and now it has opened up many doors. And in fact, when our new director, Stephen Winchell, started a few months ago, I briefed him on BioSqueeze, and a lot of people don't know this, but he grew up in a third world country. And he was like, wow, if we had had this, that would have been a total game changer for me growing up. And it was. And I kind of laughed a little bit because I was briefing him on your test. And so, the test went really well at Camp Lejeune, but there was one unanticipated event. And he's like, uh-oh. I said, yeah, it was actually so strong, much stronger than they anticipated, that they had to bring in special equipment to break up the pathway. Yeah. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah. I said, so we're getting you set up with another test and we're off to the races. In your experience though, as a DARPA performer, right, how has this been different for you than your experiences working in the commercial market or even with other parts of the government?
Wonderful. So we've, BioSqueeze is certainly my first experience ever selling to the government. So my path has always been work with a venture capitalist, raise capital, solve a problem, sell it. This is certainly a different experience.
Undiluted funding.
Yes, undiluted funding is wonderful. I will comment that the program managers, there were some comments earlier about their having deep knowledge. I'm constantly shocked. I'm used to presenting to a board, and you're pretty much at a high level of, are you hitting your numbers? Are your milestones, right? What's going on with the business? And we have monthly calls with Matthew Pava and Jayan. And 5-10 minutes into the call, they're asking questions about the optical density of our bacteria in our process. And I'm always shocked with, wow, that's like going really deep, right? And it's phenomenal to have that kind of level of expertise on the other side of the table.
Yeah, though, you don't just stop with those monthly discussions. BioSqueeze showed so much promise. We really needed to give it some extra push, and not just with the CIBRA XL program, but we have a commercial strategy office at DARPA that you have been working with to really kind of double down on our commitment to helping you transition. So what's that been like?
That's actually fantastic. Yeah, is it still called the Embedded Entrepreneur Program, or do you change the name? So this is an incredible resource from DARPA. Again, they asked us to apply for this, and it brings a team of DARPA commercialization officers into the fold for us. Brought a little money to help us invest in marketing, to add some resources to the team to go out and build relationships across the DoD. But again, it's giving us really networking into the Navy, the Marines, Indo-PACOM, PACAF, contacts that would be very difficult for us to go achieve on our own.
Yeah, we recognize at DARPA that we are typically, especially for small companies, your first, second, or third touch point in the government, right? Maybe you are scientists, engineers by trade, and you can add 2 + 2, but you don't really know how to read a cap table. So if we really want to help you successfully scale, we need to be providing resources like our commercial strategy office to help you grow your business. Average size of our small businesses are under 50 people, and it is not unheard of for a business to be 4 people or less at DARPA. And so we know that we are your first stop, and we don't just want to invest in your technology, we want to invest in you as a company. So as we close out, because we've done a lot of work investing with BioSqueeze, what advice would you have to the audience members here as they are sitting here hearing many of them about DARPA for the first time?
Lean into it. I mean, this event, you're here for a reason, right? You're learning how to access DARPA. We've had a phenomenal experience with them. It has transformed our business in 2.5 years. Much bigger vision for us now as a result of this contract, this work we're doing, and they're fantastic to work with. So please, submit your proposals.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Jen and Mark.